What is post-colonial theory? And I think maybe the clue is in the name, post and colonial. Um, so as I mentioned in a previous video, Britannica is very useful for these kinds of academic theories and relevant definitions. But let's read the definition together. And we'll break it down because there are quite a few theories actually within the definition itself, which I think will be good to get some clarity on. So, post-colonial theorists and historians have been concerned with investigating various trajectories of modernity as understood and experienced in a range of philosophical, cultural, and historical perspectives. They have been particularly concerned with engaging with the ambitious legacy of the Enlightenment as expressed in the social, political, economic, scientific, legal, and cultural thought beyond Europe itself. The legacy is ambiguous, according to postcolonial theorists, because the Age of Enlightenment was also an age of empire, and the connection between these two historical epochs is more than incidental. So the the clue really is really in the first sentence, and I will share the screen as well to Britannica later, so we can see a more perhaps detailed definition of what postcolonialism is. So, the various trajectories of modernity as understood and experienced from a range of philosophical, cultural, and historical perspectives. And this is interesting. And just a side note, this comes from this 1920s term in anthropology by the father of anthropological research called Franz Boas. He talked about something called cultural relativism. So, before, how Western historians and scholars used to approach different societies was by assuming that everything was in the same trajectory as Western societies. So, the ways in which Western societies, conducted their social, political, and legal and economic affairs was the pinnacle of what was best, and everything else was copied. And if it wasn't quite the same as the Western approach, then it was considered invalid. But you can see this is, the reverse of this, right? Modernity, like what makes, the kind of economic growth that you might be talking about. Why has it been achieved from not just in the West, but why has it been achieved or not achieved in other parts of the world? And how do you explain that without necessarily relying on the Western trajectories? So this is something we'll come to later when we look at Pomeranz, who coined the term the Great Divergence, which I think is super important. So this is going to be video 3 for the theories and video 4, sorry, total.